At this time, we're going to show you how to pull a burner maintenance on a Falcon Beckett burner. Depending on your hopper or your trailer setup or slip-in setup, you may have up to 3 burners on your piece of equipment. The main burner is 105,000 BTUs, uses a .75 nozzle. The upper burner on the hopper is a 192,000 BTU burner, uses a .50 nozzle. The burner on the tack tank is a 70,000 BTU burner, uses a .50 nozzle. All the burners are exactly the same except for the BTUs and the nozzle size. With that being said, I'm going to do a burner annual maintenance bench at this time. What you'll need to replace on an annual basis, depending on your burner, again, will be for sure the nozzle, possibly the igniters, and possibly the CAD cell eye assembly. These are the parts you'll have to replace on an annual basis. For sure, the nozzle. This burner, again, is using the .75 nozzle. Possibly the electrodes or igniters, and possibly the CAD cell eye assembly. The main hopper burner and the second burner that is connected to the hopper, you do not need to remove these burners from the combustion chambers. If you are pulling a burner maintenance on the tack tank burner, that burner will have to be removed from the tack tank in order to get to the nozzle, the electrodes igniters, or the CAD cell eye assembly. The first thing you'll need to do is locate where the fuel line is coming into the burner housing. On every Falcon burner that is made by Beckett, there is a label telling you where the fuel line coming into the burner housing is to be set to when you disconnect the fuel line from that plate. What you need to do first is with either a 5/16 inch nut driver, 5/16 inch socket, or a flat blade screwdriver. Loosen up the bolts on the top of the power light electronic igniter. Once you've loosened them up, flip the dog ears out of the way. Flip the electronic igniter completely up and out of your way. Next, as I said earlier, this label is to tell you where the plate is to be set to, but since that label will not stay on, mark that by scoring on either side of the plate so you know where to set the plate back to. This tells where the fuel delivery system is to be set depth-wise inside the burner housing. Once you've done that, again with the 5/16 inch nut driver or flat blade screwdriver or socket wrench, loosen up the bolt that holds the plate to the housing. Disconnect the fuel line from the fuel delivery system. Once you've disconnected the fuel line from the fuel delivery system, pull it completely away from the plate that holds the delivery system in place. With a pair of pliers, disconnect the nut that's holding the plate to the burner housing. Take the nut completely off the fuel delivery tube. Now the whole delivery system comes out through the top of the burner housing. Once you have this done with 2 adjustable wrenches, place one on the nozzle. Place the other on the tube the nozzle is held in place on, and unscrew the nozzle from the tube that holds it in place. You cannot clean this nozzle. Once you've got it out, throw it away. With the new nozzle, touch the new nozzle only where you place the wrench. You want to treat this nozzle as you would a halogen light bulb. Place that nozzle back in place in the fuel delivery tube, making sure you snug it down in position. If you don't snug it down, you may have a possibility of the pressure blowing past the nozzle and not getting a proper ignition or a dirty ignition. Next, look at the igniters. If the igniter points are rounded off, replace the igniters. To do that, with a 3/8 inch wrench or socket, loosen up the screw that holds the igniters in place. Once you've pulled the igniters out, put the new igniters in place. And Beckett makes a tool that's called a Z-gauge. Take the Z-gauge, put it over the end of the nozzle, pushing it on until it completely stops. Once it stops, take the igniters, bring them together, set them on the point of the Z-gauge. Make sure the points are in the proper place on the post of the Z-gauge, and tighten the 3/8 inch nut back down to hold the electronic igniters in place. Once you have done that, replace the whole fuel delivery system back into where you took it from. Placing it back in the plate that holds it in place. Remember to line the plate up with the marks that you scored on the burner housing. Place the nut back on the fuel delivery tube. Tighten it back down. Once you have it tightened down, 5/16 inch nut driver, flat blade screwdriver or socket, tighten the plate back to the burner housing. Reconnect the fuel line to the fuel delivery tube, and snug that back up into place. The last thing you need to check for an annual maintenance is the CAD cell eye. The CAD cell eye should look clear like that, and the plastic form around the CAD cell eye should be as it is you're seeing right now. If it is crumpled, burned, or charred, then take the CAD cell eye out of your new assembly. It is just a plug and play unit. Pull this one out. You do not need to take it out of the housing, and put it in place. When you need to clean this CAD cell eye, use a clean cloth or a Q-tip with no type of cleaning fluid on it. The cleaning fluid will leave a residue, and then if you have a misfire, you could get that soot building up on the CAD cell eye. With that being said, close the electronic igniter back up, flip the dog ears back in place on the electronic igniter, and make sure you tighten the screws back down to hold the igniter in place and not allow any exterior light into the burner igniter system. That is how you pull a burner maintenance on any of the Falcon 3 burners.